Hello folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Bonsai Blacksmith. Today we have a special episode because I'm going to be raffling off this knife for charity. I'm going to do some testing with it to show you what it can do. And if you want to see more about how this knife was made, you can look at some previous videos on my channel and some live streams of me putting this knife together so you can appreciate how much work goes into it. So I'm going to test the knife in this video today, and I'll do a little talking about the history of the Bowie knife as well. So let's get started. So as you can see, I have a few things on the table to test with. Some things I've tested with before and some things I haven't. When I normally make a knife, I do paper test, a fingernail test, maybe I'll cut some vegetables and fruit. I've never really done bottle of water tests before, but we'll do that. Go ahead and cut those up. Alright, so let's start with the paper test. I got some better piece of paper than what I was using before. So normally you just go ahead and drag this. This is just to show you the geometry of the blade. Then it'll cut straight and it won't rip the paper. So that'll do that. Goodbye passport forms. So there's that. Just like that. So there's that test. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the water bottle test. Okay, now it's time for the water bottle test. Never done this before, so wish me luck. I'm sure this is going to be very messy. It might even stay up on its own. I think sometimes they build like special tables that hold these. And they come from like way from Hoboken, as we say. Way back and hit it really, really hard. I'm not sure if I got the room for that. Maybe. When you do the cut test, you want to bring the blade on the bottle across the bottle, not just coming straight on, because let's be real, how blades actually work is by cutting. This blade will not cut me if I don't pull back and forth. Put the blade right there and push. It won't cut me. Leave a little depression, but doesn't cut the skin. Same thing works on bottles. So let's give that another try, shall we? Give that a nice hi-ya. Maybe I should use my stronger arm. I'm actually left-handed. Most people don't realize that. So let's give it hell. Yeah, that's a clean cut, huh? It does the job. Let's get the angle changed so you can see me cut these things right after. I am not sharpening or touching this blade at all. So I'll just put this down here. Alright, so the table's still wet from the previous water bottle test. I'm going to go ahead and just show you how well this cuts. Oh, well, its own weight does most of the cutting. This smoked sausage is for a black bean stew that I'm working on. I won't dare call it a chili. I know you Texans are watching. Oh yeah, just cooking with Sam, with his Chef Bowie. I should have a hand-forged fork for this, huh? So you can see that too. So you can see it's still a sharp knife, no problems. All day long, cutting up my garden-grown jalapenos. I took them early because, well, I need them for the stew. And I like it hot, so I don't mind a few seeds in there and such. Just like that. So, not a bad knife. And this knife is, again, being raffled off to help the Texas flood victims. It's a brute to forge, rough finish. You can make a polished finish on this, and it will come with a simple sheath once it's been auctioned. And the auction will take place in a live stream, so people can see the drawing. And let me talk to you about the history of this knife now. Let me get out of the sun and put this in the stew. Here we are in my blacksmith shop, or one of my blacksmith shops. So you saw me test the knife, and if anyone has any questions about how I built the knife or want to see it being made, there are videos in the channel you can look at. A few live streams that I uploaded. Let's talk about the history of the Bowie knife. So, the Bowie knife is inspired by the Spanish hunting knives. They were all over the Middle America. before the United States took over Middle America. Before the Louisiana Purchase and our westward expansion of the United States, it was mostly Spanish colonists mixing with the indigenous peoples. So you would find Spanish hunting knives around as a fairly frequent occurrence once you've crossed over the Appalachian Mountains. The Appalachian Mountains being the traditional boundary, natural boundary between colonial United States and the 13 colonies versus what we grew into over time. So the Spanish hunting knives, 50% of them have a centered tang, and the other half of them have a proud or a high tang off the back of the spine. So I took the older style of the tang being higher and applied it to this first designed iteration, I should say, of the Bowie knife. Because in the initial account of the Bowie knife, it said it had a straight back, it looked like a Spanish hunting knife, it was large, it gave us some dimensions, it said it had a belly, which is kind of like what we got a shape here, kind of has like a belly going on, and it had a clip point. Well, it didn't say clip point, it had like a cut point. So this is open to interpretation, this part of the Bowie knife, which is sharp, by the way, so don't run your finger like that, touch it straight on. And they said it was like a mixture of like a big chef's knife and a butcher's knife and a Spanish hunting knife with a belly. And some people said it had a guard. Now, Spanish guards are a much lower profile than this more middle 19th century guard. This S guard is really a good fighting guard. Now, because Bowie was famous for his fight, right? He's fighting with his knife. Doesn't necessarily he had a fighter's guard on his knife. Now, the Arkansas toothpick, which is also another very large knife, it's more triangular in nature. It doesn't really have a guard like this at all. And they think that that's also inspired by Spanish hunting knives, but Bowie probably had an Arkansas toothpick style more than he had what this is. This is a mixture of the original account of Bowie's knife written in the newspapers, and also a mixture of what the British started to produce in the 1850s to sell to the United States and other parts of the world, saying this is the Bowie knife, and they incorporated the larger S guard and the clip point probably. So those are probably more modern interpretations of the knife, but what is certain is it was inspired by Spanish bladesmithing traditions. It would have had probably a high guard, because they said it was like a chef's knife, and chef's knives have a high guard, right? And it had a belly, so there's the belly here. So this is my first iteration. It has the maker's mark right here, so you know that it was hand forged, and you can all again see the videos. And if you have any questions, if I missed something, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. And again, this knife is being raffled for a good cause. You can buy tickets on the Maine Blacksmith's website. Just go to the Guild's website, it's in the description below. You can buy a raffle ticket, and fear not, if you do not win this raffle, there will be another raffle and you have another opportunity to get a Bowie knife. Their tickets are $25 a piece, and it all goes to a good cause. So thank you for hanging out with me, and until next time, take care.